The console war that ended before it even began. That's what they're calling it, you know. That's what they're saying. That's what the internet is saying. And you know the internet's always right. The internet's always right. Ladies and gentlemen, it was quite a historic night last night, I feel. I feel pretty honoured and pretty special to have been there for that Sony press conference, because that is a moment I feel that will go down in E3 history as one of the greatest moments. And it felt incredible. Holy shit. The reaction from everyone, Twitter exploding, like, it was pretty amazing, but we'll get to that in all due time. I'm here to talk to you about the Sony press conference that happened last night. I may look a little bit tired because I've only had 5 hours of sleep. I just woke up at the normal time instead of waking up and lying in because I needed to take a dump. So when the dump calls, you gotta go with it, don't you? You can't just let it stay there. You gotta... Enough about talking about the dumps. But I woke up early and, well, I guess I'm kind of tired, but at least it gives me time now, before Nintendo is offering, to share my thoughts on Sony and their conference in general, and how it went, and how I feel they're going to stack up in this generation. So, we'll begin where they began. Had their obvious light show, just blah blah blah. They always have that. They always do that at the start of their conference. They have like all the PlayStation buttons. They have like triangles flying around and squares. It's like, ooh, look at us being artsy with all our buttons. And you know, that's the general thing. There was a montage, I believe, of lots of game footage. And then Jack Tretton steps out on stage because that's what he does. He usually begins these conferences, actually, usually at E3. He drives them. He's kind of the main host behind them, as it were. And I think, right, so I'm looking at a live blog that was being written last night because I didn't actually type up notes for these, and I'm trying to remember stuff. So apparently they're going to start. They started with Vita and with PS3. I don't think they jumped into PS4 straight away. They started with Vita and PS3, and they're saying, you know, Vita's great. There's lots of games for it. Didn't announce a price drop. That's something I was waiting on. I was thinking, please come on, Sony, Vita price drop. That'd be real nice right now. I really want one. I really want a Vita because I own so many Vita games via PlayStation Plus. The only Vita game that I would buy would be Persona 4 Golden, because that hasn't come onto the PlayStation Store yet for PS Plus. It's available obviously to download if you want to pay for it, but not through PlayStation Plus yet. So I would literally own a Vita, Persona 4 Golden, and that's it, because I would just have everything else downloaded free through PlayStation Plus. Because Rayman fucking Origins came out this month. Rayman Origins on Vita was free this month. That's like the end. Like, I need one of these systems, and unfortunately they're not dropping the price anytime soon. They did say they were bringing lots of not new, but like ported games to PlayStation Vita. So God of War HD Collection 1 and 2, I think, and then Flower is coming to it. Walking Dead, the new season of Telltale's Walking Dead game is coming, and I'm excited to hear more about that, because God, Walking Dead was one of the best games I'd played that year. One of the best games I've played in a long time. Yeah, fantastic game. So I'm really excited for the next season of the Walking Dead Telltale game, and I think there's going to be some kind of stopgap episode or something. There's going to be some episode that's happening in between season 1 and season 2. I'm pretty sure that there's going to be some coverage on that on the show floor, so I'm excited to find out more about that. Walking Dead is certainly a good thing, and I did play Walking Dead on PlayStation, so you know, if choices carry over and stuff, that's good, because I'm kind of already locked into that ecosystem of playing Walking Dead on Sony devices. And then they come back to PS3 a bit more, and they're like, by the way, we still have fucking fantastic PS3 games coming out this year. You know, it is like the end of this console's life cycle, but hell if we're going out with a puff, we're going out with a fucking bang. They showed Last of Us again, maybe a little bit pointless to show it, but I guess building a bit more hype. It is coming out at the end of this week, so they might as well show another trailer for it, and it still looks amazing. And Last of Us has received incredible reviews, fucking critical acclaim across the board. It looks to be one of this generation's defining games. So, it's out this Friday. It's out the same day as Animal Crossing New Leaf is in the UK. So, I'm excited for that. It'll be cool. And then they showed, obviously, you know, I've been playing Heavy Rain. You guys know that I really enjoy Heavy Rain right now, and I'm enjoying playing that game for you. I don't know what you guys are saying because I'm not reading the comments because I don't want to be spoiled. But David Cage's next game, Beyond Two Souls, it looks good. It looks good, and I'm really tempted to get that as well as soon as I finished Heavy Rain and then do an LP of that, because I would think that would be nice, like run-in, go from Heavy Rain straight to Beyond Two Souls and just do it blind as well. That would be really cool. So I'm actually really looking forward to that game, and I'll probably, I probably will LP it. So that's gonna be cool. So that's coming. Last of Us, and then there was something. I feel like there was something else, but this guy whose live blog I'm reading is not really helping me out here. See, this is why I really should have taken my own notes, because then I wouldn't have to rely on fucking Forbes.com. Whatever this guy's name is, he was doing a live blog, but I feel like he's missing some stuff out, which is slightly annoying. Apparently The Puppeteer was shown. I believe Rain was shown as well. Rain and The Puppeteer are two PlayStation Network titles which were unveiled in GDC or something? No, they were unveiled at some kind of PlayStation event, I feel. I can't quite remember. They were unveiled not at last E3, but a little bit after that. They look really cool. They look like very cool indie games, or not really indie games, because Rain is by Studio Japan, who are a Sony internal developer, and they are, they're pretty damn good. So I'm looking forward to that and seeing what it's all about. Oh, and then Gran Turismo 6. Yes, that's right, because we were. I was in a Skype conversation. We weren't in a call, but I was in a Skype conversation with a few people, with Steve-O and with Nick and with Nagi and stuff like that. And we were like, Steve-O was like, yes, this is my time, because Steve-O loves all the racing games. He got all the racing games this E3, because there's fucking Forza, there's Drive Club, there's Gran Turismo 6, there's that new, The Crew from EA, or is it Ubisoft? I think it's Ubisoft, The Crew. I can't remember which one. EA and Ubisoft kind of blurred together in my mind a little bit. I'm not going to do a video on either of them, but there were some cool announcements from Ubisoft and EA. EA especially had Mirror's Edge 2 and Battlefront. Star Wars motherfucking Battlefront. So those bigger announcements from that. And then Ubisoft had obviously the Divide, which is their other game. But we'll not talk about that. We're here to talk about Sony, so we'll continue. So Gran Turismo 6 coming out. Oh man, good looking game, obviously. You really don't expect anything less from the guys at Polyphony. And that is PS3, I believe. It is PS3. I'm not sure if they'll make a version for PS4 or whatever, but you kind of understand now why Polyphony, or not Polyphony, why Evolution were working on Drive Club instead of doing a kind of motorsports game. It's because Gran Turismo 6 is going to be the PS3 kind of real racing game, and then Drive Club is going to be the PS4 real racing game. So, very cool. Then moving on a bit to Vita, or no, because it says Batman Arkham Origins. Batman Arkham Origins was shown for PS4/3, but before that, when they were talking about Vita, they showed a little mini clip of the Vita Batman game, which is also out on 3DS, which is Batman Arkham Origins Blackgate, which is being developed by Armature Studios. I don't think they've released a game yet, but Armature Studios are made up of former Retro Studios developers. So guys who used to work at Retro, who did Metroid Prime, they're on the case, and they have a pretty fucking high pedigree. So I personally, like, one of my favorite, I've said this before, one of my favorite game styles are Metroidvanias, and I love Guacamelee this year, I love Metroid Fusion, I love all these fucking Metroidvania style games. And this is a Batman Metroidvania game made by the guys who made Metroid Prime. Mind blown. That is the game I'm looking forward to from third parties the most, certainly on handheld. So excited for that one. Batman Arkham Origins, of course, more trailer on that was revealed. More info about some kind of PlayStation exclusive DLC. You got fucking some Batman costume from some old TV show. Adam West, that's the one. The Adam West TV show of Batman. You got the costume from that. Some DLC. It's exclusive for some kind of period of time, I don't know. But that, I believe that's going to be cross-gen. Cross-gen as in it's coming out on PS3 and PS4. October 25th is the release date on that. So that'll be cool. I guess I'm not sure how many people are going to flock to it straight away. Are people going to just dive in and get the PS3 version, or are people going to hold off for the PS4 and get that alongside it? I don't know. We'll see how that goes. What do we got next? Moving on to PS4 now. they brought out Andrew House, the British dude, and he showed us the box. Yes, the box was revealed. Hell, I forgot about that completely, but they showed off the box. And it looked really, really kind of weird. It's very artsy-fartsy, as in, like, it had this angle to it. There was this really funny picture on Reddit which showed the Xbox and the PlayStation next to each other, and the Xbox said bold and the PlayStation said italic, and that's hilarious because, like, the perfect way to describe it, it's like, because it's so angled, it's like an italicized version of the Xbox. I thought that was a really good summary of what the PlayStation 4 looks like, but it's got like these cuts along it. It's like sliced into like a flag almost. It has like this cross going across it and these lines. And it's angled. It's supposed to sit upright, I feel, as opposed to on its flat surface. I don't know. Maybe, I mean, what they showed of in the pictures behind was the system standing upright as opposed to flat. But I guess you could put it flat as well. And it was surprisingly not that large either. It seemed like it was about the same. Like, look at my PS Slim down there, PS3 Slim. It looked about the same size as that. So I'm pretty impressed that they managed to get all that tech into a box that's around the same size as the current stuff, which is pretty awesome. So, you know, I'm pleased with the box. It's not like wowing me or anything. It's not like super crazy like a sphere or whatever, but it's cool. In the end, let's be honest, the box doesn't really matter what it looks like. It's just going to sell into your TV. So, not a huge deal, but I like that they showed it and that they kind of gave it a bit of the limelight. So, good stuff there. And then Michael Linton, I don't know who that guy is, but apparently he came out. Oh yeah, this is the point at which you were like, really, Sony? Really? You're gonna pull this shit now? Really? You're gonna pull this shit now? Because they start talking about fucking TV and television shows and programming and Netflix and Amazon Video and fucking Music and Video Unlimited. Who in the fucking world uses Music and Video Unlimited? I don't think I've met a single person who even knows what those are, let alone uses them. Please. I was like, please, fucking move on from this shit. And they took quite a bit of time over it. Like, I think, you know, Steve-O was saying, yeah, they didn't spend that much time, but let me see, 6:42 they came on stage. It was 6:52 by the time Shuhei Yoshida came on stage. So they spent a good 10 minutes on that shit. A good 10 minutes explaining, like, by the way, we have services and we have TV. A little bit of a low point, probably the lowest point in the conference, but we do pick up because the man, the legend, the fucking god, Shuhei Yoshida. He's such a cool guy. I love Shuhei. Thing is, like, he's so interactive with the community and everything. He's such a funny guy, and he speaks English really well as well. Like, because he's been on Podcast Beyond, which is the IGN PlayStation podcast. He's been on there a few times the last few E3s, and he like holds his own. Like, he can understand English and speak English really well. Whereas a lot of these kind of Japanese CEOs or whatever aren't well. Let's say. Aren't well. I can't think of the word. They're not well spoken. That's not the right phrase. But what I'm trying to say is they can't really speak English that well, Iwata included. So I like Shuhei. He's a good guy. And he comes out. He's like, by the way, we got 20 new exclusive games. Oh, by the way, 12 of them are new IPs. Just like kind of brushing aside Microsoft's whole 15 games and 8 new IPs. It's like, oh, we have 12. We have 12 new IPs, by the way, just letting you know. And then they didn't really go on to show a lot of them, but they did show one of them. And Shuhei's like, alright, here's a new IP. Sony Santa Monica logo pops up. And we're like, ooh, okay, so maybe something interesting, maybe something similar to God of War. And then they show off this kind of steampunkish universe with these people in some fucking horse cart, but they have guns. And Nick was like, why are they in a horse cart with guns? Why? And I guess that's a valid concern. But they got out and they started shooting shit, and it was like steampunkish, and there was like werewolves or something going on. Not really any gameplay. It was just like CG or rendered in engine. I think they said it was rendered in engine, so that's kind of cool. It did look good. And it was called The Order 1886. I feel like I've heard that name before, or maybe it's just like a very generic kind of name. But it was cool. It wasn't something that kind of excites me personally, but it's nice to know that they are bringing out the new IPs. And I was kind of hoping, you know, maybe we'll get a few more. Unfortunately, they didn't really show any other new IPs apart from that. They did show more of the other games that they'd already revealed at the February event. So they came in with Killzone, with Drive Club, with Infamous Second Son, and with Knack. And clearly the game that I was excited for the most is Infamous Second Son. Killzone, whatever, I don't give a fuck. I've said this before, shooters don't interest me. Drive Club, again, don't give a fuck. And then Infamous comes out, and it's a full like gameplay trailer, or at least in engine, and it looks good. It looks pretty impressive, and I like how they're building the story with this guy and his brother, and like the guy who has the powers. I can't remember what his name is, but he gives no fucks. He's like, this is fucking cool. I love being like steamy and fiery. God, why is my eye watering? This is the problem with having hay fever while I'm trying to do videos. Alright, sorry about that, guys. Allergies get to me and I can't really do anything about it. So, what was I talking about? I was talking about Infamous, and how Infamous Second Son looks really cool. And from the gameplay that we saw, we have him like popping into this vent and then jumping out and floating with his thrusters, these fucking fire steam thrusters. That was awesome. Like, holy, when I saw that moment, that was when it clicked for me. I was like, I need Infamous. I need Second Son. This is a game that I want. I've got Infamous, the original. I've beaten the original game. I have the second one on PlayStation Plus, and I'm gonna play that soon. So anything Infamous related, I am down for. Nick was as well. Nick loves Infamous, and we were both very excited by that announcement. Very cool stuff going on with that series. Then we had Knack, of course, which was shown at the PlayStation 4 event. The first game that was shown, character platformer, very cool, and doing lots of stuff with particle effects and everything, and really showing out the power of the system in terms of doing those kind of very tech demo-ish type stuff, but put it in the context of a game. And it was cool. It was excellent. Nice new gameplay from it, and the nice thing about Knack is it will be a launch day title. 3 of these games will be launch day titles, which is pretty fantastic. We have Infamous, which is actually going to be 2014. It's going to be Q1 2014, so by the end of March, I believe, is when Infamous is dropping. But Knack, Drive Club, and Killzone all going to be day 1 on PS4. So if I were to pick up a PS4, first of all, I would not have a cold, because then I'd not be playing my PS4, I'd be wiping my nose all day. Second of all, I'd pick up Knack as my game, and then obviously I'd get Infamous as soon as that came out. So cool, very cool. More look at those games, and I'm excited for 2 of those at least. Then we had Quantic Dream, and came out and they were like, here's some tech demo stuff. And last time David Cage showed us a man's face. This time he showed us the man's face in context, because the man's face was on a man, and he was a wizard and he was a sorcerer, and he was doing all this wizardry, and it was very impressive. It was visually very impressive, but I was like, yeah, whatever, this, whatever, it's just kind of visually impressive. And then they just pull the rug from out under us and break the 4th wall completely, and they're like, this is actually not a game or anything, or even a tech demo in like the traditional sense, because the guy who's being the sorcerer was actually like an actor within the context of it. Was really weird, because they like pulled it back and it was like a green screen, but it was still them there. It's just the funniest thing. And then they're like, because this is like, this guy's pretending to be a sorcerer, and then there's the goblin who's like, yeah, good job, buddy. It was really funny. And then there's guys behind the camera saying, we need to do another take, and you see the green screen and everything. It was really hilarious, like the way that they executed that. I completely out of the blue, did not expect that at all, and that's really nice to have that kind of just out of the blue humor that pops up, because you don't really get that from these kind of press conferences, unfortunately, and it's always nice when something like that happens. So that was hilarious. But then we had the big massive push on independent developers. First of all, they bring out Supergiant Games, guys behind Bastion, a game that I really want to play. I'm waiting for that in the Steam sale. I've heard so many good things about Bastion. As soon as it goes down in the Steam sale, I am on that game. But they have their new game Transistor, which is obviously shown off pretty recently, I believe, at PAX and stuff like that. So that game looks really cool, and Sony pushing the indies heavy, because they open with Supergiant Games and, like, you know, Bastion's coming to PS4, not Bastion, Transistor's coming to PS4, and then they just fucking drop every indie, like, currently well regarded, well respected, and some new ones that I hadn't even heard of. Just they drop them all in there. The guys behind Octodad, which looks like a fucking hilarious game. Clay, who are doing Don't Starve, and they did, like, what do you call it, Mark the Ninja, I believe. Like, loads of these independent developers who, you know, are driven to this platform because of the self-publishing, because it's so easy to get their games on there. And there was literally like 8 or 9 of them on stage, and they were just like demo after demo after demo and just showing off all these things. Granted, a lot of these games we've known about for a while, and a lot of them, you know, have been in development for a long time, and it's nice to have them on Sony's platform, but just setting the precedent first, not the precedent, setting the precedent for having independent games on the system and really pushing to get those guys on board means that in the future there are going to be a lot more Sony exclusive indie games. There's going to be a lot more partnerships with Sony and independent developers, and it basically means that all these games that will come out on Steam are probably going to come out on PS4 as well, which is really cool. And as long as Sony have a good marketplace and a competitive price wise, and, you know, they have a good infrastructure, if they make the PlayStation Store better and improve the infrastructure, they could have a good thing going for them, because it's really impressive. And I was blown away by the amount of indies, the amount of cool stuff they were showing off, because, you know, now moving into, you know, playing PC games, I really have much easier access to all these cool indie titles. And you know, let's face it, some of the most fascinating and thought-provoking and just interesting experiences these days are coming from the indie studios, not from the AAAs. The AAAs provide the big booms and the bangs and the amazing spectacles, but the introspective games, the ones that make you think, the ones that do something completely out of the box, they're all coming from indies these days, and I am more than happy for Sony to welcome them on board, and this is fantastic, very good news. So all part of indies, good stuff. And then we have, I believe after that we have the Square thing. So in the chat, in Skype, we had Nagi and we had Nick. And when Star Wars Battlefront was revealed at the EA press conference, Nick was like, "It's over, EA have won, no one can do anything to make me think there's nothing better than Battlefront to be revealed." I was like, "Yeah, this is probably the best thing that you're going to get today, right, Nick?" He's like, "Well, actually, thinking about it, if they reveal, like, Kingdom Hearts 3 or something, then I will shit a brick." Little did he know. And then, so we had the chat with Nick and with Nagi. Nagi, you know, Nagi's a big Final Fantasy fan, and he's been waiting for Versus 13 for a long time. Nick is a massive Kingdom Hearts fan. He's been waiting for 3 for a long time. So when Square come along and they're like, boom, 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 here's Final Fantasy Versus 13, we've renamed it, it's Final Fantasy 15, and here's motherfucking Kingdom Hearts 3. First, Nagi explodes in joy, and then Nick, and they just culminate in this incredible, like, ridiculous bombardment of their brains. And I was happy as well, because I'm a fan of any kind of Japanese game, really. I'm much more of a Japanese gamer than I am a Western gamer. I'm much pro-Japanese games in general. And Final Fantasy Versus 13 has been something that's piqued my interest for quite a long time, and it looks really cool. I think it's a really smart decision of Square to just rename it as 15 and rebrand it. Because, I mean, come on, like, first of all, the name 13 has been dragged through the mud at this point. As much as I love 13, and I know Nagi does as well, we're both big proponents of Final Fantasy 13, not a lot of people like it, and not a lot of people are down with that game. So getting rid of the Versus 13 title and just putting it in the mainline Final Fantasy franchise, making it Final Fantasy 15, is a smart play by Square, and one of the smartest decisions they made in a long time. They haven't made a lot of smart decisions, but this was one of them. And then obviously showing Kingdom Hearts 3, just not much of it, but a fleeting, like, 20-second, 1-minute trailer, whatever it was, no gameplay, just like the logo and some visuals and kind of Sora doing his thing. Yeah, I think that is enough to set people off, and Nick fucking exploded. So that was big. That was huge. And that was the point at which Nagi was like, Sony have won E3, and Nick was like, Sony have won E3, I'm buying PS4, and they just yeah, that was it. So it was good. It was a very, very good reveal by Square, and I do forgive them for that horrific appearance at the February PlayStation conference where they're like, please wait for E3. And we were like, no. God damn it, Square, why did you even come on stage? Why? But now we know. Because they wanted to get us excited. Please be excited, is what they said. And we were excited. So good. Then we had... Moving on from the Square stuff, we move on to Ubisoft. We actually get the first live demo of Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag. And I'm going to say, you know, as much as, unfortunately, there were lots of technical fuck-ups during the entire day. Microsoft had the sound problems, Sony had live demo problems. Assassin's Creed 4 demo was janky, unfortunately. It looked really cool, though, and this is the thing that I'll give credit to Sony for, is that they showed so much more live gameplay than any other company did today, or yesterday, sorry. And that's what people want to see. People don't want to see fucking CGI bullshit. They want to see gameplay. They want to see the games they are going to be playing themselves. So the fact that they had the Assassin's Creed 4 gameplay demo, and though it didn't really go according to plan, it looked really cool. And, you know, Assassin's Creed is a game with ridiculous production values. It is a huge franchise at this point. Assassin's Creed 3 sold something like 15 million copies. It is a mega franchise. And they are pulling out all the stops. It looks very, very cool. It's just a matter of whether those problems that people still had with 3 are going to stay there, because I don't know how they can turn that around in a year. Clearly this game has been worked on for more than a year, because that's how Ubisoft work. They kind of have their teams go at it for a couple of years, and they have this backlog where they are ready to push annually. So it's looking good. Unfortunate demo, but good. And then again, Ubisoft come out once more with Watch Dogs, the game which everyone is anticipating. A really hot title, man. Like, such cool stuff in that game, and like the more we see of it, the more gameplay we see, the more excited it makes me. Like, it is a really interesting concept, and it seems like it's been executed really well. And that surprises me a lot, because it's a very high concept idea, the idea of being able to hack into anything, and doing that in an open world, and being able to access all this data. It seems like a really lofty goal, but from what we've seen so far, obviously we've only seen vertical slice, so I'm not going to say that this game is bona fide to be fantastic, but from what we've seen, it's been pretty fucking great. I'm not going to lie. I've been blown away by Watch Dogs so far, and I am looking forward to that. It's coming to Wii U as well, which is good. It's nice that Ubisoft are actually supporting Wii U. It's just a shame that they fucking shit all over us with Rayman Legends. That was the kicker. But they are bringing games to it. Assassin's Creed is Wii U as well. So are there are other games. So there you have it. At least Ubisoft are kind of supporting Nintendo in some way. And then moving on from Watch Dogs, what did we have? We had some sports with LeBron James. He's apparently a basketball player. Not that I would know, because basketball doesn't really exist in the UK as a popular sport. So, unfortunately, I don't know who that is. But Nick said he didn't like him, so I don't know. Maybe Nick has some beef with this LeBron James. I have no idea. Yeah, that was about it. It was basketball time. And then Elder Scrolls Online. We got a little bit of a trailer for that. Looked kind of cool. Not sure how this is going to fare in the current world of MMOs. Things fail very quickly. You know, MMOs can turn and be absolute failures within a very few short months. So it's wary, but you know, the Elder Scrolls is a big franchise and it has a lot of brand power behind it. So yeah, but then again, you know, the Old Republic, fucking Star Wars. How big of a brand is Star Wars? And look what happened to the Old Republic. That's all I'm going to say, really. That's all I'm going to say. If Star Wars can't do an MMO and get that draw, I'm not quite sure, honestly. But it looks cool. So I hope it turns out okay for them. We'll see. It's just the kind of the rocky, rough waters of the MMO world right now. And now time to blow my nose before the fucking bomb drops. I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, there has not been a moment like this in E3 history. I don't think there has been. You know, the one thing I remember in terms of fucking appeasing a crowd and cheering and people going fucking wild was Twilight Princess back in E3 2004, 5, when Reggie revealed Twilight Princess, the first trailer, and people fucking went bonkers. Watch that video on YouTube. It was the same feeling when Sony came out and were like, fuck you, Microsoft, fuck your policies, and fuck everything you stand for. We are not standing for this shit. We are pro-consumer, and this is what we're doing. Used games are allowed. There is no fucking 24-hour connection bullshit. You don't have to be connected online. It's everything that Microsoft stands for knocked to pieces. And it was absolutely... The response in the room, on Twitter, in the Skype chat I was in, was fucking glorious. And it seems really stupid, doesn't it? It seems ridiculous that we could get this excited over Sony saying, by the way, you can still use used games. By the way, you don't need to always be connected to the internet to play your single player games. It seems fucking preposterous that we get so crazy about this shit. And yet, because Microsoft have really made us so frustrated and so annoyed with their policies, it's just like, it's rallying against them, really. And with Sony kind of standing at the front and rallying that call, everyone wants to support them now. Holy shit, everyone is behind them. It's just the way that it panned out, and it's the smartest thing that they have done in a long time, because gamers are just going to jump ship from 360, I feel. It's happening across the board, and you know, I could be blowing this out of proportion because, let's be honest, the internet and the vocal minority are very much a vocal minority. The majority of people don't even know this shit. But I'll come back to that point in a bit, because there is the question of price in terms of mass market. And price is a very clear indicator, so that is something else that Sony have to play into their hand. But yeah, we are a vocal minority, but goddamn, do we make our voices heard? Holy shit. Holy shit. What a moment in history to be part of, and I was glad to be there. That was fucking great. So happy. So they do that. They drop the bomb, and then they upload this video to their YouTube channel of fucking Shuhei Yoshida being like, this is how you share used games on PlayStation 4. And then they show like step 1. He just hands it to the guy. He's like, thanks. The best fucking video on the internet. The best video in history. Shuhei Yoshida, my man. Fucking legend. Oh my lord. You need to watch that video. Holy shit. Okay, so we got that. And I think everyone's on a fucking high at this point. I really wanted to see something first party, something else first party. You know, we only got the Order 1886 as a new reveal. I wanted to see maybe Uncharted. I wanted to see maybe Last Guardian. It's a long shot, but I wanted to see those games. We didn't actually get them, but we were on such a fucking high from all that used game stuff and Sony kicking Microsoft in the nuts that Well, it was pretty hard to pull ourselves, pull our brains out of meltdown. And so they started with the Destiny reveal, the first gameplay trailer of Destiny, Bungie's game. As I said previously, Insomniac over to Microsoft, Bungie over to Sony, hell yeah. And they are, they're really committed to the platform, and they showed Destiny. I will say the Destiny trailer, or not trailer, the Destiny gameplay, holy shit, Destiny looked amazing. Destiny is probably the best looking game I have seen over the whole of E3. It looked fucking gorgeous. Wow. But the gameplay trailer, I keep saying trailer, the gameplay segment they showed off lasted far too long. Far too long. They should have moved on from that a bit earlier. I guess they did want to show as much of it as they could, but I honestly think they spent far too much time on it. I guess it was nice as kind of a calming down session after people were reeling from all the news. So there you go. It was Destiny. It was cool. I'm not interested because, again, it's a first-person shooter and I really don't care. But that's just me. So, okay. And then what do we got? Gaikai, they come on talking about Gaikai a bit, and oh yeah, this is when they talk about, I think, PlayStation Plus and all that stuff. And with PlayStation Plus, it's funny because I think Sony kind of managed to slyly sneak in the fact that you have to pay for online multiplayer now, and no one really noticed. They kind of sneaked it in there and no one kind of paid attention because everyone was so high off the other news. But they did say that. They said, PlayStation Plus is coming. The good thing about PlayStation Plus, it will carry over from your current subscription. So if you already have a PS Plus subscription, it will move over to PS4, and you will only need one subscription for the 3 platforms, PS3, PS4 and Vita, which is really great. Fantastic news. All the same benefits, all the great stuff, but they're now including online multiplayer as a requirement. So if you want to play online on PS4, you do have to have PlayStation Plus, but honestly, I don't know why you wouldn't have PlayStation Plus at this point. Like, come on, it's the exact same price. They're not raising the price. They said it's $5 a month, but $5 a month equates to $60 a year. And $60 a year is how much PlayStation Plus costs in the first place. So you're literally just getting what you got anyway. So it's not really a big deal that they're charging for multiplayer. If anything, it'll help them get more people onto the PlayStation Plus service, which will in turn help them pay for servers and improve the online infrastructure in general. So it's a good thing, I feel. I feel that is actually somewhat of a benefit, even though it's kind of if you don't want to pay for the PlayStation Plus subscription and you just want to play online multiplayer. But Microsoft are doing the same thing with Xbox Live, so, and fucking no one wants to go on Microsoft now, so that's how that's working. Yeah, so PlayStation Plus, fantastic, good stuff. What else am I going to say? And then we moved on, I believe, from PlayStation Plus to the price. And, when everyone was talking on Twitter about Sony completely kicking Microsoft in the nuts, this is a fucking console war right now. And they were saying, if Sony say $399, it's over, it's GG. And Sony come out, and they're like $399 US, and the internet explodes. £349, which is a really good price. 350 quid. I'm tempted, guys. I am tempted to pick up a PS4 for 350. That is a solid proposal. I'm not gonna lie, but they're $100 below Microsoft. They have the hearts and minds. They have the games. It's over. It feels like it. I know we're in this E3 bubble. I know we're in this gamer-centric fucking people who are so tuned into this stuff. We're in this bubble. And outside of that, anything can happen, really. Microsoft can still do fine. But right now, it feels like Endgame. It feels like G. It's over, like, holy crap. And that was it. That was the bombshell. We left the conference there. That was how we ended it, with a $399 price point. No release date. They said holiday, which a lot of people were inferring that because they didn't say a date, it means that they're coming out after Xbox, which is fine. It's not a big deal, honestly, because people who want a PS4 will wait for a PS4. and that's perfectly okay. They're going to come out around the same time anyway. And that was that. So holy shit, Sony literally took a giant steaming shit all over Microsoft, and that is the most all-out direct response I've ever seen since like the days of fucking Sega and Nintendo. You know, those adverts, Sega do what Nintendo don't. It's the same. We're back in full-on flinging shit, and Sony have a lot of shit to fling. Oh my lord. So that was the press conference. Those were my thoughts on the press conference. It was great. As I said, I would have liked to see Uncharted or Last Guardian, but we can't get everything we want in the world. It's just how life works, and I think Sony gave us an E3 for the ages. They really did. This will be remembered for a long time to come. Next up, people, Nintendo's press conference in just over 2 hours at the time of me recording right now. I'm excited for it. This is the big one for me. This is the one that I get most excited for, because these are the games I care about, guys. Nintendo are the company I care about, the games I care about. As fantastic as the graphics are on my PC, as amazing as these open world experiences are on all these other consoles, Nintendo speak to me, and they have the games I want, and I want to play their games. And that's what I'm excited for. So, I'll see you guys with my third and final reaction video to Nintendo whenever that happens. But until then, thank you very much for watching. Do leave your comments below as to what you thought of the Sony press conference in general. And leave a like if you enjoyed. That certainly helps me out. But thank you again for watching, and I will see you guys next time.